Sitting loud at the mic, discussing politics, their passion ignites. Conservative values, they stand their ground. In a world of chaos, their truth can be found. Unsanctioned America, they won't back down. Voice is the reason in a liberal town. Oh, John and Tom bringing the heat. In a podcast storm, they won't face defeat. Speaking their minds, it's a freedom fight. Unsanctioned America, they'll light up the night. They break it down, what's fair and what's right, calling out the nonsense, shining a light. With every debate, they sharpen their blade, fighting for freedom, the lights only lay. In a nation divided, they'll rise above with passion and truth and a whole lot of love. Oh, John and Tom bringing the heat. In a podcast storm, they won't face defeat. Speaking their minds, it's a freedom fight. Unsanctioned America, they'll light up the night. So tune in and listen, join the crusade for a brighter tomorrow. The truth will not fade.
I don't know that I agree with you. To be fair, with all due respect, one doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that. As somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat,
Yeah.
not here, but other places. Somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat,
Yeah.
not here, but other places. Somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat,
Yeah.
not here, but other places.
You sure about that? This is going to be a War Room exclusive here from Human Events. That CIA Director John Ratcliffe provided Kash Patel access to U.S. intelligence that served as the basis for the warrant to raid Bolton's house. So this is basically what we were thinking about, and this is an individual familiar is telling me this. They're saying Bolton disingenuously attacked Trump for mishandling classified information. It will go down as one of the most audacious and ironic acts of malice in political history. Bolton should have been throwing stones in his now raided glass house.
Make it great Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But there's another reason, which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You could do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. You can, but when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. No early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they used that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement is.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important. Because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on. And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this. I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy a nation.
Yep. And I agree with the president in that regard, John. These are a lot of times paid agitators that are doing this, and it's to incite a problem or to start a problem. But as you know, the X platform has been lit up since President Trump signed this executive order on flag burning. But it's not as cut and dry. But just on the basis of the fact, John, that this executive order says you'll do 1 year in jail if you burn a flag. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me take a sip for this one. So you and I had a very spirited debate about this too, right? Neither one of us want to see the flag burned. And believe me, I'm okay with somebody going to jail for burning the flag. Now, I don't know. One, I think it might be a little bit of a distraction, right? And I think that there's a much better way to go about it. I don't think that they should be trying to restrict speech of any type. Although when you get into the nuances of what they're doing, which we talked about, it seems like they're kind of like skirting along to prevent that. And what they're doing is creating a situation where if you're a bad actor, you're going to pay the price, right? Yeah. So if you're burning an American flag in your backyard and you're putting it on YouTube and you're saying, I hate this country, I'm going to burn this flag, nothing is going to happen. But if you're a paid protester and your intent is to cause chaos and havoc in the streets of DC, for example, then you might get arrested. So, but we don't know. We're going to have to see how it actually works out. Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm really worried about multiple things, which we're going to talk about today. We have a great show for you because we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about other things. I do have concerns with kind of the path that Trump has been going down recently. Not that I trust anybody in government more than I trust Trump, but at the same time, everyone makes mistakes, right? Right. Endorsing Randy Fine was a mistake, right? And so you can make mistakes, and that doesn't mean that you are not loyal. It doesn't mean, you can also disagree It doesn't mean that you're a bad guy, that you're on opposite sides of the issues. It's just not everybody's going to agree all the time.
Right.
So I definitely have concerns about this. I'm not going to lose any tears over some guy going to jail for burning the American flag.
Well, you've seen, John, that there's many people very upset on X about this, and they're definitely the left. All of the left is upset about this.
The left is gone. The left is crazed.
And many on the right, Dana Lesh, the Hodge twins, all these people on the right, so-called on the right. These are people that are pretty much anti-Trump, but not to your face. You know what I mean? They will.
I don't know. I don't think that that's fair. Like, so the Hodge twins have been pretty opposed to a lot of the things that Trump is doing, right? But these are fair because it didn't start until Epstein. I think Epstein opened the gates, right? So you have people that would have been loyal to Trump much further. Okay, you're going to arrest people for burning the flags, whatever. I'm not going to argue with Trump over that. But you did it on the heels of Epstein. So now it's this. Now you released all the things that we're going to talk about tonight. The 600,000 Chinese students, a lot of things that are piling up that are not what we necessarily voted for. It's not what we were impressed, upon us to support. These are things that, Trump's ultimate practicality, right, is rile some of the people that we've had enough.
Yeah.
We've had enough of the bull crap. We've had enough of the wavering. We've had enough of the rhinos. Now we hate rhinos. We hate we don't want any of the institutional leftovers. What we want is to flip over the tables. And some people are saying that maybe he's becoming a little bit more of a practical president. And I don't know. There's all kinds of things about it. We need to have a show just on that.
Well, you know what? We're going to straighten out a couple of things real quick. And I just want to bring these up because this flag burning thing's bothering me quite a bit.
Well, before you do, though, let's say our prayer.
All right.
And then let's get to the story. All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It might be better to start with prayer anyways. When the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, it might be better to pray first. It's always better to pray first for everything. So, Lord, these are incredibly interesting and difficult times. We know that we're not always going to agree, but we are all in agreement that this country is the greatest country in the world, that we want this country to succeed, that we want the American family to succeed, that we want our leaders to place America first. That is what we're moving towards. And we know that the Constitution promises the things that we're fighting for right now. We're fighting to make sure that our country adheres to the Constitution. And so as passionate as we may become, as much as we disagree and agree, let us all come back to that foundational, inspirational document, which is based on your holy word and inspired by you and your directions and instructions for life and leadership, Lord. In your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right, John. So
everybody, it does clear. This made me feel better.
Yes.
It made me feel better about it. So let's go ahead and watch.
All right. So if you read the actual executive order and what it states in it, it says, notwithstanding the Supreme Court's rulings on First Amendment protections, the court has never held that the American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action or that is an action amounting to fighting words is constitutionally protected. So in other words, if you're just burning a flag to burn a flag, the chances of you getting arrested are not likely.
And if you do get arrested, then you're not going to be prosecuted is the bottom line. It's too narrow of a walkway. It's super inconvenient though. And I think that's what resolves the problem. It's super inconvenient to spend the night in jail. It's basically an FAFO. So you better be super convicted within yourself. You better carry the conviction that you really want to burn that flag because you might spend the night in jail for it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. So it's the same as screaming fire in a theater, right? You can't do that because of the danger that it creates. Inciting violence by burning the flag is what they did. That's their path. We all know that what we want is for people to stop burning the American flag.
Yeah.
But what they did was very smart. It was very narrow. And I think that it would survive. It may survive. It may not survive. It depends on where it happens, where the lawsuit takes place. But nonetheless, I think it's we could live with it. We could live with it.
I could absolutely, because these are some of the things I can't live without. Or
seeing those people go to jail, right?
This is Dr. Harambe's Ghost. He put this out here. Some flags are more equal than others, and that's the truth. If you burn the LGBTQ pride flag, you're going to jail for a hate crime. If you burn the Israeli flag, you are going to jail for a hate crime. But if you burn the American flag, that's perfectly fine. That's not a hate crime. That's free speech. Something to really ponder and think about. And I'm hoping that if this does go to court over the American flag, because you see the left flipping out about this, they are just losing their minds. What about this? What about this? What about this here?
I don't know that that's true.
You have people going to jail for doing burnouts on Pride crosswalks. Well, the Pride crosswalks are going away here in the state of Florida, thank God. But when they do, they're being arrested for that, for a hate crime.
So are they? Is that what I mean? Here's the thing. I don't know that that's true. If they're going to jail for that, I mean, the prosecutors that bring that case should lose their law license. The judges who would convict someone for that crime should go to jail.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it's just I'm 100% in agreement. If that's true, I don't know that it is. If that's true,
we reported on a story here in Florida, John.
Yes, but basically it was vandalism, right? That the way that they got arrested
that's the way they did.
Yeah,
they called it vandalism. But
if the city pays, if anything, you need to vote these bastards out who would paint their rainbow, streets, the rainbow flag on their streets because they're vandalizing their own city.
Well, the DOT and the state has already said that's not allowed now, and that's going away. Here in the city of Orlando, and we're going to talk about that on the Florida show. They continually try to do this off Orange Avenue where the Pulse massacre happened. They keep wanting to do it.
We saw Carlos Guillermo Smith, the little Carlos there, crying his eyes out.
They redid it with chalk, and it rained that day and washed it all away.
Well, listen, my heart is not broken over this. If somebody was arrested for burning the pride flag, I would lose my mind over it. If somebody was arrested for burning the Israeli flag, I would lose my mind over it. You and I in the pre-show, we talked about burning the Quran, right? We're allowed to burn the Quran, but then you were like, I don't know, can you? If you burn the Quran, are you going to get in trouble? It's possible.
You're going to get charged with a hate crime.
Yeah, and I better not be. If I want to burn a Quran, I'm going to burn a Quran.
The double standard is real, and it's amazing. You have the left losing their minds over this, like I said. And here in the state of Florida and other states, you'll be charged with a hate crime if you burn the pride flag, you burn the Israeli flag, you burn the Quran.
I don't think throughout the whole state. I think it depends on what city.
Yeah, it depends on where you are in Florida. Definitely. Yeah, and I think that if it went up to the governor would take care of it. He'd squash it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah,
the highway patrol is certainly not going to arrest you for burning a pride flag. No. The state police are not going to arrest you for that or anything like that nature. So it's a complicated situation, and we have nothing but complicated topics tonight. It seems like. I mean, it's just. This is when it gets complicated, right? Everything was easy to this point, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So now it gets complicated. We have to. The most important thing is that you're prayerful about it. Is that you put the country first. You put the American family first. When you're deciding these things, as long as you do that, I think that we can all be on the same page, even when we disagree. It's okay to disagree on.
Now we do have a video of the governor of New Somalia talking about this issue, or at least he's trying to.
No, not Tampon Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tampon Tim is going to tell us
how easy it would be to be a damn Republican. Oh, what should I wear today? This stupid freaking red hat. What should I say today? I don't know. Just make sure it's cruel. Who do we listen to? That guy. Oh, the felon in the White House? Yeah, listen to him and that will be fine. Now he's talking about burning flags. He's going to have flag burning or whatever. Because he knows there's a hell of a lot of flags with his picture on it that are going to get burned.
Does Tampon Tim even know what he's talking about here? It sounds like he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. He says that Trump's burning flags. No, you idiot. He passed it. He wrote it. Signed an executive order saying that if you burn the flag, you're going to jail. Fool.
No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I guarantee you, I'm going to listen to the guy with felonies before I listen to a man that tries to use a tampon.
Shame on you, Minnesota.
Yeah, shame on you, Minnesota. No kidding.
All right, let's get into the news, John. All right, John. So I cannot get enough of seeing John Bolton's house getting raided by the FBI.
What a great development that is, right?
Oh,
that wasn't necessarily who I thought would be first.
No,
right? I didn't think John Bolton was going to be first, to be honest.
Well, it was the first video we played tonight at the top of the show, and I just can't get enough of it. But we're finding out a little bit more about what's going on with John Bolton. Jesse Waters reveals the FBI raided Bolton's home because he's receiving millions of dollars from overseas.
This might have nothing to do with classified documents or about classified intelligence that Bolton printed in his book. Trump Justice Insider Mike Davis says Democrats, rhinos, and reporters who think this raid on John Bolton is about his book will be very embarrassed when the search warrant becomes public. Primetime's hearing Bolton was making a lot of money from overseas and may have been trafficking in intelligence. That wouldn't be putting America first. Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley, who we just heard from, says Bolton could be looking at up to 20 years in prison. So Bolton should take his own advice and take a big, beautiful, deep breath.
I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if...
All right, we'll cut him off there.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious matter.
Enough of him.
It's a pretty serious matter. You're right about that.
What a piece of utter garbage, and I'm so happy to see that he's getting this treatment, John. I'm sure that they have something or found something on this guy because he has been a wart on the ass of America for so long.
Just the ultimate modern neocon, that's the ultimate modern day neocon.
Warmonger.
He's a leftover. Yeah. Warmonger. He works for the military industrial complex. This guy needs to go bad. And apparently he's going to go away. And he's not even a guy that we were thinking about. He's not, I wasn't thinking about him.
No,
I was thinking about all the people that we know. When are the Democrats going to be, go down? I think that's the most important thing to me is I want to know when they're going to go down. That's going to be important to me.
Well, John, I'll tell you this. I think that these things are going to happen here and there, and they're never going to be who you think it's going to be next.
Yeah.
I think it would be very stupid because I've seen people saying that they should round them all up at once and it should be like this grand thing. It's not like in the movies. It's not going to happen like that. You're going to see one go down, and then maybe a month or two later you'll see another one go down, and then and that's a smart way to do it.
And they're going to save the best for last, right? They're going to Hillary Clinton's going to be arrested on November 1st, just prior to midterm elections. Keep them and then
guessing.
Hillary on the second.
Keep them guessing because if you notice, John, there was not any news crews out there when the home first got raided. Once they found out, then the news crews showed up. It wasn't like when they raided President Trump or Roger Stone, and they had the news crews already there ready to film. This didn't get leaked out. Nobody knew. So it's a good thing. And nobody was looking at him.
Yeah. Nobody was looking for him. This is what we want. This is what good police work looks like. You're surprised by it. You don't know who's going, you don't know who's going to do it. You don't know who's going to go down this week. They're all worried about it. They make mistakes. They call each other. They talk on the phone. The cops are listening, right? So this is what's good. It's obvious good police work. And one thing ties to another. And I guarantee you that John Bolton's not going to want to spend 20 years in jail. It would be the last 20 years of his life. He's going to immediately roll over if he can and trade something so that he can have, that home arrest in that beautiful home that he had that was being torn apart by feds. That's going to be what happens, I would expect. I don't think that he's going to go to jail for 20 years. Obviously, Trump really didn't like this guy, right? He called him a lowlife. I think we have the video of that, right?
Yeah. We have President Trump's words regarding John Bolton's raid.
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. But he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, "Oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton's there." He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group. I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
That's key right there, John. He says that he is the chief law enforcement officer of the country, and I think he finally realizes that now. Yeah, he's right. He's right. And
I mean, at the end of the day, he's not the attorney general.
He could be starting it. You don't know, and but he says that he didn't know, and he doesn't want nothing to do with it.
No, I mean, it's the president's job to tell the attorney general what his law enforcement priorities are. And he absolutely could. He could easily say, you know what? I want you to go after everybody who's corrupt in the United States government, beginning with the people who were serving in the last 20 years. Right? Start in 2000 and work your way up. Of course, they would not have a net big enough to catch all those fish. But nonetheless, I mean, they can say start with the highest ranking and go down. Whatever it is that they say, start with foreign policy, start with who's doing it now. To be the guy, get the one that's most obvious, get the one who's connected to the most people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So supposedly he told Pam Bondi, start with the biggest mustache. And they sure as hell did. And now Bolton is, running scared, I'm sure. He's
what's
terrified.
Funny is he was on TV bad-mouthing President Trump 2 days before they raided his home.
I know. I saw it. So, like the poetic justice. He's been really terrorizing Trump, for no reason, because at the end of the day, they're both about leverage. Trump is about leverage. It's just at the end of the day, Trump does not want to see the other guy get killed or lose. He'd rather see a win-win situation. No. And Bolton wants a zero-sum game. Somebody has to die. He believes in the duel. Like in the old-time duels, like in the 18th century, they would point the pistols at each other and then raise it above each other's head and fire over each other's head. That way you maintain your honor, you walk away, and you don't have to kill anybody. Bolton's the guy that, he aims for the heart, he tries to kill you, but it's not him holding the gun. He gets somebody else to hold the gun for him, because God forbid it be him. And so he literally, Trump got him in a duel right now, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll hear some more about this, and we'll see who's next, John, because I guarantee you, and we talked about it on the last America show, there's other people predicting that there's going to be a lot of people going down. So excited to see this happen.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right. So the federal appeals court threw out this $364 million fraud case against President Trump. You remember, this was Judge Arthur Egeron, the guy who liked to smile for the camera as well. Guess what?
What a freak. You don't have a picture of that guy? Jesus, what a freak show.
Well, he ain't doing any smiling now, John.
There's a Fox News alert here. An appeals court has just thrown out President Donald Trump's $364 million civil fraud penalty. This just happened. It is a developing story. We're getting a lot more information.
All right. So yeah, so they threw it out, and we knew this was bogus. This was all trying to break President Trump so that he would not run for president. They were trying to come at him every which way. Like what's his face there said, Schumer. He said they have 6 ways to Sunday to get you, or some stupid saying.
Yeah,
that
the intelligence companies have to track at you and take it. I mean, this is just silly. It's silly. This is just ridiculous. Not everything deserves the amount of attention that it gets. Right now, there are so many things going on. There's real policy. This is the difference between a real president and all these false leaders that we've had for so long, right? We have serious policy issues to debate with Trump as president. And before you didn't. It was just, you're black, I'm white, we hate each other, right? That was like the entire premise of the Democrat. You're gay, I'm not, we have to hate each other. You're this, I'm that, we have to hate each other. Everybody was fighting with everyone, right? I mean, everything was about that. Everything was identity. I'm a man, you're a woman, we have to hate each other. I'm Catholic, you're Protestant, we have to hate each other. Everything about the Democrats was, we have to hate each other. No. Now what are we focused on? You see black guys, white guys, everybody together right now. We're talking about the policy. Is it good to bring in this, 600,000 Chinese guys? Is it good to do this? Is it good to arrest these people? Is it good? Now we're talking policy. And that's the greatest thing. And this appeals court throwing out this case, this is just straight up justice. We're using our justice system to try to prevent our country from getting to this point, which is talking about policy and not identity. They should be in jail. Those people should go to jail. They should be raided themselves because they were distracting our country, right? And they were destroying our country while we were distracted hating each other over stupid stuff. Yeah. So I'm glad. This is great. This is $400 million case, but there's all kinds of other fees too that are going to come down. I mean, you lose this kind of case and the money, and it has to be bonded, right? So Trump had to put the money down. Oh man, there's going to be all kinds of the state is responsible for that money. It says,
Cindy says there that New York owes Trump $190 million in interest. Well, he should demand it. Absolutely.
I mean, I hope he doesn't let him have it. If that's how much. Wow. I don't know what the statutory maximum for interest is in New York, but that's absolutely crazy. Imagine what an investment. Trump can't lose. Trump loses. He has to put up $364 million. He gets $200 million back on top of the $360 million. I mean, that's a hell of an investment. Sue me, New York.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sue me for $300.
No doubt. And mom says, where is Fauci? Yeah, well, his time's coming. It's gonna come.
It better come. It better come.
Yep.
He doesn't need God. He is God. Remember.
His time.
Don't worry.
Is
I'm
coming.
praying for you, Fauci. I'm praying for you, Bolton. Nonetheless,
I can't see his time not coming. Let me put it that way.
It better come. Yeah. It better.
All right. So, National Guard troops, John, have begun to mobilize in 19 states.
And tonight, 1,700 National Guard troops are now set to mobilize across 19 states over the coming weeks. They are going to help Homeland Security execute a sweeping federal crime and immigration crackdown that is underway now. The order is effective August through mid-November, Fox News is learning. And a U.S. defense official tells Jackie Heinrich and Liz Frieden the National Guard being mobilized will effectively serve as a support pillar.
19 states, John. 19
states. Now, a lot of these states are red states. There's been a lot. Again, we're talking about policy, right? People are arguing about policy. Is it good for this? Is the National Guard supposed to be used like this? Should the National Guard be in red states? Why aren't they just doing the worst cities? Some of those cities might be in red states. People are talking about policy. And so I don't have any problem with this. He's basically stating, and he's the chief law enforcement, right? This is a law and order president. There's a lot of things that Trump can be remembered for. He can be remembered as a peacemaker who brought peace to a whole bunch of different conflicts, right? I've seen Democrats saying, "Oh, what countries has he brought peace to?" I don't know, Thailand, India, just those two small ones, right? The Congo, Rwanda. These countries were at war and he stopped it. They were killing each other and he stopped it. But there's a lot of different things like that. He can be known as the peace president. He can be known as the law and order president. He can be known as the economy president, as the tariffs president, right? As the one who actually pays down the national debt.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, trillions of dollars towards the national debt. We haven't seen anything like that. So he's being graded on so many different things. And this is kind of one too. You know, it worries people. We've never seen the National Guard be used like this. Actually, we have. That's not true, because in the 60s, during the civil rights era, right, the National Guard went to quell riots that were, you know, like race riots and stuff like that. So I don't know, but now he's using it to clean up our cities and clean up our states, and I mean, to help with ICE, which is, you know, which is what they're doing in a support role. I don't have any problem with this. Of course, Democrats, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care what the outcome is. Democrats don't care whether this is going to help or not. They're not talking about policy. They're just saying we hate Trump. And that's not good enough. I think most of Americans are now like, is this going to be good or is this not going to be good? And that's a great place. Trump took us back to when I was a kid in my 20s, talking about whether something was going to help or hurt our country. You know, no longer is it like all this, the stupidity of the Democrats.
Yeah, and you could see that stupidity from the Democrats on display. They had a summer convention, and there's really nothing notable for us to play on this show because it was absolute stupidity. And like you said, John, it was, we hate Trump, we hate Trump, we hate Trump. That's all they had. They have nothing to offer anyone. Nothing.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Exactly.
They're dead.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about this because this story fired up people on X platform as well.
People are fired up. I was fired up. You were fired up. We're fired up about this. Listen, there's a lot of people that are fired up about this. There's a lot of different opinions, right? So I don't know who wants to go first. Tom, you want to go first?
So,
you want me to go first or what?
Let's play Lutnick. Lutnick was on old Horseface's show, and he tried to explain this.
It's very important.
Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, how is allowing 600,000 students from the communist country of China putting America first?
Well, the president's point of view is that what would happen if you didn't have those 600,000 students is that you'd empty them from the top. All the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom 15% of universities and colleges would go out of business in America. So his view is
wait. So pause it. So let's do one thing at a time here. Let's talk about some of these issues. So for one, I don't give a damn about that statistic. That does not move me at all. I don't care. This is not an industry that we should be saving to this degree. Why are we bailing them out with dangerous people entering our country? That I do not agree with. I don't agree with that at all. And here's why. If it's a college that is a private college and they can't survive without 600,000 Chinese students, they should not be open. They should close. And if it's a public university then that can't survive without 600,000 Chinese students, then that public university should not be tax funded. So if it can't survive, that's on them. We don't need it. If we don't need it, we don't need it. So I know that this is, some people are going to disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I know, but I don't think that we need a college on every corner if that's not what the population demands. It should be the number of colleges that we have should be, and we have a whole bunch of people going to college. Everybody's going to college today, right? So it's like, but what are you studying? Nothing of value.
Yeah.
So I mean, if the college can't stay open, if the college is not a viable business without these 600,000 spies, then I'm not for it.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Economic view, which is classic Donald Trump, looking at higher education and saying,
but why are you
until
helping
we
Harvard?
Modify that.
That just helps Harvard and UCLA and UCal Berkeley and I mean you're all helping those schools. Why? They're like, basically factories of anti-American propaganda. Now they're getting a big influx of cash because of the Chinese students. I mean, I know President Trump has always been very pro-Chinese student. I just don't understand it for the life of me. Those are 600,000 spots that American kids won't get.
Well, I tell you what, I'm involved in changing the H-1B program, right? We're going to change that program because that's terrible, right? We're going to change.
Bull crap.
The
Bull
green
crap.
card.
They just
You know, we
approved
give
a whole
green
bunch of
cards.
H-1B
The average American
visas.
makes
I don't know why. They gave a
$75,000
whole
year.
bunch. Intel, they allow Intel, which is why the United States government got got like, I don't know how many shares with 10% of Intel, right?
Yeah.
$12 billion worth of Intel shares was because they were bringing in Indians. They were replacing American workers. This is it goes against the immigration policy that we voted for, and there's no other way to put that. It could be good, it could be bad, right? Me not knowing everything, I'm not all knowing, but let's say that I'm wrong about this, and this ends up being good for our country. It's definitely not the immigration policy that we were promised. I don't want these visas. These visas should supplement the things that we don't have. If we have an American body to fill a job, they should get the job before they give it to a foreign visa worker.
Yeah.
That's common sense to me. The other thing is, the number 600,000 is so many. Okay. An American Army division is 25,000 people on the top end, at the high end. It could be from 10 to 25,000 people. So an Army division is 25,000 soldiers. Okay. Now they said that this is from 6 or 12 years to 30 years. Well,
yeah,
okay, the vast majority.
Years old.
Yeah, the vast majority are going to be 18 to 30, which is military age. So you're going to be bringing a whole.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but these are military age Chinese people who are coming here. And then we were talking about, right, like the two sides of it. Well, I mean, they're going to come here. They're going to learn the American way. Hopefully they take a little bit of America back with them, right? But at the same time, if they sent me to China, I'm not going to bring any Chinese. I'm not going to convert to communism because I go to China. I'm going to go there. I'm going to fight for my country, even there, if I have to swing in all directions. So why wouldn't those 600,000 Chinese spies be the same way? They're not going to come here and get converted. They've already been indoctrinated. So it scares me. We have so many Chinese people being arrested, and I'm not talking about American Chinese people. Sometimes there are, though, but you see so many people getting arrested for espionage. They're trading secrets because Chinese, if you speak Chinese, they will flood you with cash. We have the situation here in Osceola County. Right? We literally have a Chinese situation here in Osceola County where the sheriff was arrested because he was in business with someone who fled back to China after she did all this allegedly did all this crazy stuff regarding gambling, corruption, and whatever, and took $31 million back to China allegedly. This is not what we want. This is absolutely not what we want. There's no good, at least I have not heard a good reason yet. 600.
I would feel better about this, John, if it was 12 to 18 instead of 12 to 30. But 12 to 18, yes, I think you could influence a young mind away
Agreed.
from that communism.
Agreed.
And toward the freedoms that we have here in the United States of America. When you go to 18 to 30, and like the way you put it, 18 to 30, because we're talking about colleges. We're talking about Harvard, Princeton, Yale. 18 to 30 is military age.
Yeah.
These are people that could be really bad news for the United States of America. So if we were talking, like I said, 12 to 18, I don't feel so bad about it. I mean, if they're foreign exchange students, maybe we could influence them.
I agree, absolutely.
The way that we live. And we've seen that before. I mean, where the Chinese have been given a small sampling of freedom through the way that they do business, the way that they've had a small sampling. They get to see American movies. They get to see, even though they are highly censored.
Yeah, they pirate those movies in China, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the kings of pirating.
They pirate everything we have. So they
pirate everything.
They have a taste of a little taste of it. but they don't have a full taste because communism will not allow them that.
Yeah, but they taste and then they steal. They don't, it's not like they come, they taste, and then they walk away, with open palms. No, they come and they taste, they steal, and they use for their purposes. And 600 Chinese students, that's not just Harvard. That's not just Princeton. That's not just Yale. That's every college from coast to coast. That is 600,000 people. That is so many colleges. All the engineers in the United States are going to have to fight for slots at the best colleges and at the worst colleges because of these 600,000 Chinese students. They're going to be even flooding Valencia Community College here in Orlando. That's how many 600,000.
I don't know. They've been giving away so many scholarships to Valencia here in Osceola County.
But it's but the point is, half of them are gonna be Chinese now. So this is a lot of people. This is a lot of people. I mean, this is a lot now. And to give you an idea, this is a true danger in the United States, right? Because China graduates more engineers in a year than the United States graduates people, period. That is a danger to the United States. So now that was a competitive advantage for us. If they can't educate their own people, that is an advantage for the United States. So now what we're going to do is take the people that they can't afford to educate, and we're going to educate them for them. We're going to produce their best minds and send them back to China, or we're going to keep them here and let them spy on us. I mean, come on. We should learn from Eric Swalwell. Right? This is not a good situation. I can't see the benefit to the United States. Keeping the colleges open is not they need to change their model to survive. I mean, are we not a free market system? Should these colleges not have to survive based on their performance, based on what their output is, based on what they're offering the American family in terms of the consumer? Yeah. Right? That's socialism. We're going to bring in other people from another country by arrangement of the government so that they go to school here. And we're basically helping them survive on our dime, at our expense. And this is at our expense because we pay for those colleges. Yeah. So it's not a good idea. It's a terrible idea. I'm sure that the Chinese ambassador would disagree with me, but I don't give a damn. Take your kids and get the F out of here.
Patriot Proxy says 1 million born in the U.S. via birth tourism, taken back to the PRC and raised under the aegis of the CCP can come back and run for president. It's horse hockey.
Oh man, that's a talk about a Manchurian candidate situation, right?
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
And if you bring in 600,000 and they have kids here, how many kids are going to be? That's college age. They're going to be a lot of Chinese females who will have babies in the United States. What percentage? 10,000, 20,000? What percentage of that 600,000 would do that? I mean, you would imagine all of them. Who wouldn't? If you have a moron like Eric Swalwell, right, that you can trick into giving all of the secrets up, everything, right?
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Right? There's a lot of them. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see the wisdom in this. I don't see the long-term advantage. I just don't see it. Now, if you're going to, this is 5D chess we're talking about, right? Which I already told you, I'm not a fan of talking 5D chess. But if you're going to bring them here, and then you're going to track every single one through your espionage network, track every single one. You're going to keep them. You're going to know everything about them. You're going to take them to Epstein Island. You're going to film them doing stupid things. And then they're going to go back to China. And but in China, they don't have the same moral culture that we do, right? In the sense that the things that are bad here are not necessarily bad there. And that may not work, right? So I don't see the wisdom long-term, but there's no angle that I'm understanding, at least.
So let's hope that Trump does have an angle to this and that it makes sense eventually.
Yeah. Please like and share the show, by the way. Let me stop and say like and share the show. We're having a problem with the counter of the number of people that are watching. So I'm looking at all the different things, panels, and we have a lot of people pretty much everywhere, but at the same, and our biggest channels at least, but it's not giving us a complete and total number. So please like and share the show and help us. Hopefully it'll fix it.
Absolutely. All right, John. This is amazing, but not surprising. A top Biden spokesperson admitted to Congress that he barely ever interacted with Joe Biden.
I mean, I can't say this enough. I want to say this one more time so everyone understands. Ian Sams, who was the White House spokesperson for a significant amount of Joe Biden's time as president, interacted with him 2 times. 2 times. So, you know, we're going to continue to bring people in. And again, this person, Ian Sams, is the one that would counter everything Robert Hur, or anytime anyone would suggest that Joe Biden wasn't mentally fit, he would say, no, he's at the top of his game. Every time he tweeted out several times, he gave interviews on MSNBC. Every time I've interacted with the president, he was sharp. He asked great questions. In there, under oath, he interacted with the president 2 times, the entire time. The entire time he worked in the White House. That's a
Yeah, that
okay,
is
so the
astonishing.
number one question, the number one question that comes to mind is, how long was Ian in the White House, right? That's the first question that we asked, like, how long was his term? Because he only met with him twice. How long did he work there, Tom?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. The press secretary who worked in the White House only met with the president twice in 2 years. Oh my God, that is crazy. That is crazy. How bad? This is like, he was in a diaper and nothing else, eating ice cream, walking, pacing around the Oval Office with babysitters surrounding him. That's what must have been happening.
Yes. And that's the most interesting question, John, is who were the people that had direct access to Joe Biden?
Who was talking to him all this time?
Who was it?
Who did have access? You're right. Who? That's the biggest question. Like, who did have access? And apparently it was the chief of staff of the, what's her face? The fake doctor. I mean, this is crazy. Crazy. And you know what? Here's one thing I don't like. Let's talk about this. We didn't really talk about this angle in the pre-show, but I don't like how Comer and the politicians surrounding this scandal are acting like this is a serious investigation. He's out there. He's like 2 times. He only met with him 2 times, blah, blah, whatever. But at the end of the day, they don't intend to do anything. They don't intend to do anything. All they're doing is creating
what they're
hype.
going to do. I mean,
they protect each other. The politicians protect each other. That's why, like, I'm so like just taken aback by like Blackman against Lopez, because all these politicians, these guys are supposed to be completely opposite, but they're not. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to charge him. They're not going to do anything. Their intention, the legislature's intention, is to let him have a pass, humiliate him in public, let him have a pass, let everybody in that circle have a pass. They win an election and they keep power and they win. That's it. That's all they want. They don't want justice for the American people. They don't care about what's right for us. They don't care about what we want. What they want to do is hold on to power and win elections and consolidate. Right? That's it. They're not interested in what justice is for the American family. And I don't like that. I think it's a big charade. I think it's political theater. This guy, he might be outraged. Yeah, he got him. They got him. They're making a fool of him. And now we realize that Biden was in a diaper, crawling on all fours in the Oval Offices in a circle with a whole bunch of babysitters around him. Yeah. But at the same time, they're not going to do anything about it, even though that should be criminal. It should be, his wife should go to jail. His son should go to jail. That whole cabinet should go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blinken and Mayorkas should go to jail.
I would be shocked if something did happen and came out of this, but like you said, John, nothing's going to come out of it. Nothing's going to come out of it.
It better. Or otherwise, I mean, Trump is going to literally, if people don't go to jail and nobody gives listen, I hate to say it, nobody gives a damn. Everybody, we believe that Bolton is doing something wrong, right? I'm not going to be shocked that he betrays the country because his ego is as big as his mustache, right? I don't give a damn about Bolton. Okay? Bolton is out of the picture and he's irrelevant to the country. Put him in jail. But the FBI should put him in jail. He belongs in jail if he broke the law. The people in the White House who were in control of the White House for 4 years, and then they basically sold off our country to the highest bidder the way that Ricky Booth and Erica Booth and all the people in Osceola are selling Osceola. The Biden administration was selling out our country the way that the Booths are selling out Osceola County. And if they can't put them in jail, then I don't give a damn. He's lost a follower in me, because those are the people that need to pay on behalf of the American family. They need to pay for the future of our country. If we're going to have any semblance of a real republic, a real constitutional republic, there cannot be two layers of justice. There cannot be one for me and one for Biden. There has to be one single plane that we all live life on in a constitutional republic. And if that doesn't happen, then I won't believe in it anymore. At least I won't believe in Trump anymore. If it doesn't happen, then I just won't believe in it anymore.
It's like I said, John, I think you're going to see it happen. It's just going to happen slow.
Yeah.
One go down,
and that's okay.
You see another one go
it's
down.
Not about timing, right?
Yeah.
It's not about timing.
All right, so let's move on, John. We're finding out what Kamala Harris spent that $1.5 billion on in the 15 weeks of her campaign. It's amazing.
$1.5 billion spent in 15 weeks for Kamala Harris. They burned through that on things like Oprah, ad space in the Las Vegas sphere.
All right, so let's look at this, John, because Will Kane doesn't spend much time here, but let's see, $10 million.
This is nuts.
Star-studded election eve event.
They had to pay people to pretend to support
Oprah. Her. Yeah, that $10 million was Beyonce, I believe.
Yeah, all the celebrities
for the Las Vegas sphere. They put an ad on the Las Vegas sphere. 350,000 in media. I don't even know what the hell that is. Probably some kind of podcast or something that's online.
I think it was. Yeah. That was all in the news. I mean, I'm gonna look it up while you're talking. Go ahead.
500,000 to the fake Reverend Al Sharpton and his nonprofit. $15,000 on Uber Eats and DoorDash, and then of course they said $9,000 on ice cream. This is unbelievable. I mean, the amount of money that they wasted in 15 weeks with this campaign. It's just incredible.
$1,000 a week in DoorDash and Uber Eats.
The important stuff.
$1,000 a week. $2.5 million. That's in one shot for Oprah.
Yeah,
they paid her $2.5 million to support the candidate she's already supporting.
Yeah,
that's nuts. And wait. So what does Dean Cain say? The last thing he says, "I bet you the Democrats are all laser focused." Right? On these expenditures.
Let me bring that back up, because I exited out a little quick here, but let's bring that back. What he has to say here.
In the Las Vegas sphere. And ice cream, the important stuff. So top Democrats have got to be laser focused on this, right? Wrong.
What that does for our side, it fires us up. It gets us going. These memes of you riding a velociraptor with like a 12-pack and 2 freaking rifles in your hand.
Oh, I know. I'm in good shape.
Wow.
God, that's stupid.
You see that group? What a horrible group of people that was. I saw that sissy boy, Harry Sisson, was there. Newsom, a few other reprehensible humans.
This is why they're hemorrhaging voters. They're hemorrhaging voters because nobody can relate to the level of stupidity. First of all, Gavin Newsom runs the worst state in the country, right? Nobody has as much of an advantage as California, and yet they squander so much of it. Imagine the potential of California. Imagine the potential of California, and they squander it. And what do they squander it on? I mean, just stupidity and nonsense. And Gavin Newsom's perfectly fine with that. He hasn't been able to do anything. It's just horrendous. And these memes that she's like, oh, it gets us all fired up. Democrats are not fired up. No. Just look at the results. Look at the results of the election. Look at what is going on. Look at. I mean, what's his face? What's the guy that got fired on? Stephen Colbert. She wishes they were. She's trying to fire them up. She's doing her best, but it's a clown show. Stephen Colbert couldn't get more than a dozen people to come out and protest his firing. This is somebody who's on national TV every weekday. And Monday through Friday, Stephen Colbert was on air at night and he could not get more than a dozen people to come out and protest his firing, I'm sorry. They are not fired up. They are asleep and they've abandoned you. They may not want to be Republican, but they sure as hell do not want to vote for Gavin Newsom. No. So Gavin Newsom, I don't care. There could be 15. He could be leading a train of velociraptors. Nobody's going to buy it. The chances are is that he's what's left behind after a bird walks past on the sidewalk. and that's Gavin Newsom. He's no rifle. Who can imagine Gavin Newsom holding a rifle? No. I mean, I need to pray for Gavin Newsom. But at the same time, he's a complete and total idiot.
He'd shoot himself in the foot, John.
I mean, I'm sure he would.
Oh, man. But, you're not lying when you're saying they don't have anything, because even CNN has to admit now, Democrats have lost 2.1 million registered voters, while Republicans have gained 2.4 million voters.
In all 30 states that track party registration, we're putting on the screen the data. It shows altogether Democrats have lost 2.1 million voters. Republicans have gained 2.4 million. That's a deficit that you have of 4.5 million voters.
Yeah, and that's between 2020 and 2024. It speaks volumes, and I think that when you go into each state individually, you'll see those numbers. Those numbers will be a lot different, but I think you'll see greater Republican advantages in many of these states.
Yeah, the vast majority of those voters, I think, are in Florida. I think it was a huge percentage of those voters were in Florida, and for good reason. It's such a well-run state, and people want to live here. You have a cost of living that is realistic, although it's getting out of control now. You have a legislature. Even the rhinos in Florida are better than the people in California. That's just sad. Even the rhinos, the worthless rhinos in the Florida legislature, are better than California. Imagine what the potential for Florida is, right? Yeah. Imagine the potential for Florida. Imagine if the legislature actually did pass like HOA reform, if they did pass property tax relief, if they did pass all the things that conservatives in Florida want and are demanding. If they did that, imagine the rocket ship that Florida would be. Florida would surpass California, and it's just that would unleash its potential. So imagine if we did not have a rhino legislature, then they would have lost 10 million voters. But that's a hell of a deficit. 4.5 million voters. Yeah. Oof, that's almost insurmountable. And that was over a 4-year period. And that's not counting the last 2 years. Yeah. So 25 or 26. All right. So by the time the next election comes, that's going to be a real uphill climb for the Democrats to make up.
Yeah. Patriot Proxy, just imagine if the establishment Republican Party membership were on our side, what could be achieved from that? Yeah.
What could be achieved? I mean, everything. Yeah. Everything could be achieved, right? If the rhino legislature, if all these leaders that were not self-serving, if they were patriots of the United States, imagine how far we would be. Imagine where our country would be. I mean, it would be incredible.
Absolutely. All right, John. So before we go to some stories from America, we have this important message from the Labor Department.
All presidents make an impact, but few are transformational. When President Roosevelt took office, he promised a square deal for the American people. He worked to bring industry leaders and unions together and used tariff revenue generated by himself and President McKinley to build prosperity for the American worker and business. His mission was to always put America first, but decades of failed leadership forgot President Roosevelt's promise to the American worker, pursuing endless unfair trade deals and shipping our jobs overseas. But now, President Trump is advancing an agenda that will put the hard-working men and women of America first. Just like President Roosevelt, President Trump is fighting to bring workers and industry together and secure fair trade deals that will bring jobs back to America. As we celebrate Labor Day, the Department of Labor is proud to honor Presidents Roosevelt and Trump, two transformational leaders who put the American worker first.
right, John. So first up, we talked about it earlier, 19 states, but we didn't talk about cities. And one of those cities that's about to get federalized is Chicago. And Chicago's mayor, Brandon Johnson, he's not too happy about it. Here he is.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
Yeah, just like they stood next to Lori Lightfoot. I mean, didn't Lori Lightfoot lose her election?
Yeah.
Right, because of what a useless mayor she was. This guy's going to lose his election also. Listen, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters when it comes to the safety of your family. That's the number one thing that in people's mind when they go to bed at night, when they wake up in the morning, they're thinking about how to provide for their family, how to keep their kids safe, how to provide opportunities for their family. And if you in Chicago, and I think we may be in a video here, so I might be speaking ahead of our video here. But you have more than a murder a day, more than one murder a day. That is mind-boggling. It's just crazy the amount of violent crime in Chicago. And I remember Chicago as a beautiful big city. Chicago is one of my favorite big cities. I remember going there as a young journalist when I was like 25. And I was there to get a writing award. And I was just like, Chicago's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The food is amazing. The culture is amazing. It's just everything is great. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that everybody's getting shot, I mean, they would be a place that I'd want to live. And it's just it's a crime. These mayors are criminals for plunging all of their residents into this chaos and violence unnecessarily. And for him to rebuff President Trump's willingness to help, they want money, right? They just don't want any help. They don't want you to control the outcome, right? And so if Trump comes in, crime is going to stop, just like it stopped in DC. 12 days without one murder, right? Yep. Chicago can't say that. So if they come in and they take over Chicago and they just police force it with National Guard, I mean, and it makes Chicago a safer place. I think that people are very quickly going to realize that the mayor is a fraud, and not just the mayor, but also the governor of Illinois.
Yeah, we're going to get to him in a second, John, but I just noticed something. I just remembered it, and I want to bring this up because I'm going to pause this real quick. I have not seen this guy on the right. I have not seen him since Coming to America. When I last saw Coming to America, I don't remember the last time I saw that movie, but Old Soul Glow, I haven't seen him since then. And
I thought that was Colin Kaepernick.
I'm just glad that Old Soul Glow, he got a job. He's doing all right.
He's working.
He's on MSNBC. Yep. He's on MSNBC. So good for him. All right, John. So yes, the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, is saying he does not want Trump and the National Guard there.
To tell the president that his proposed actions will make our jobs harder and the lives of our residents worse. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city? Instead, I say, Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here. Your remarks about this effort over the last several weeks have betrayed a continuing slip in your mental faculties and are not fit for the auspicious office that you occupy. Most alarming, you seem to lack any appropriate concern as our commander-in-chief for the members of the military that you would so callously deploy as pawns in your ever more alarming grabs for power. As a governor, I've had to take the decision in the past to call up members of the National Guard into active service. And I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on how seriously I take that responsibility and on the many things that I consider before asking these brave men and women to leave their homes and their communities to serve in any capacity for us.
All right, enough of him. Enough of him. I've heard enough.
Just rambling, trying to like self-aggrandize himself, and this is the whole self-righteousness of it is just, it's sickening. Listen, this guy Pritzker is such a liar. You know, he's saying that he's speaking on behalf of the state. No. Number one, I bet you if you go through all the small communities of Illinois, they would disavow Pritzker without any hesitation. And if you go into Chicago and you talk to the families, of which there are hundreds who have lost someone they love to murder each and every day in Chicago, they would tell you a completely different story. And I'm very likely to take their side over Pritzker's side. Send the National Guard, send everything that you have to, bring peace and calmness to the city of Chicago for the first time in decades.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny that he surrounds himself with a bunch of rich liberals to clap for him while he's having this press conference. But you ask the former governor of Illinois about Trump bringing the National Guard into Chicago to clean it up, and he has something completely different to say.
You watch this Pritzker extravaganza today. He had everyone there. They were all there. Teachers unions represented. You know, you had the police commission. They were all there. So he apparently is trying to argue, along with Johnson, that things are stupendously better, not perfect, but far better in Chicago, and that Trump's going there to incite violence. What do you say tonight?
I hope President Trump comes to Chicago and can do in Chicago what he's done in Washington. No murders in Washington in 12 days. In Chicago, 254 people have been murdered in 233 days. You can honestly wake up in the morning and say, somebody's going to get murdered today. And you can also say 80% of the people murdered will be black, because 80% of the murder victims in Chicago are black. And if this was happening in the neighborhood Pritzker and these white limousine rich liberals live in, he would not only beg Trump to bring the National Guard, he'd scream and shout for the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and the Air Force. This is hypocrisy with a touch of racism, and it proves that the Democratic Party today, Black Lives Matter only for their votes, not when it comes to keeping them safe in their disadvantaged neighborhoods.
Wow. Very well said. You know, Jim says the only thing that this guy takes seriously is the buffet at Golden Corral. We have to get
you know what?
him and Chris Christie in a sumo wrestling match. That might be interesting.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing about Jim. I think that that he can relate to. The only thing I disagree with Rod in this statement is, why would you call the Navy? What are they going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? Drive a little rowboat onto the city? But anyways, listen, I think that they would be happy. The citizens be happy peace come to their town. Yeah. You know, yeah. I know that if I lived in a city that I loved, but it was also just rife with violence and crime, that I would welcome any presence that would bring calmness to the streets that my kids play in. And you can't take that away from the people of Chicago just because they have a liberal madman as governor and a clueless, feckless loser as mayor who are willing to sacrifice their people, you know, to the gods of the Democrat Party. Yeah. You know, it's a crime. And so, you know, I mean, it's just a shame that they would deny it. And this whole argument about, every time you hear this, it's so dumb. Of course, I was just joking. I'll tell all my Navy brothers out there, I was just kidding. But, you know, it's so dumb when they say, oh, they're going to load these guys up and they don't care about our military. Listen, when you join the Army, you join the Air Force, you join the Marines, or you join the Navy, okay, you do it out of service. You do it because you love your country. You do it for your community, and you're okay serving. You look forward to the opportunity to prove to your country that you love it as much as how they think you do when you wear that uniform. And they're perfectly fine doing that. They like to serve. And if they're doing it in some kind of humanitarian role or policing role in their own community, making their own street safer, even more so are they going to feel gratified that they can participate in making their country better. Not, like they think that the entire military is just made to kill. I mean, that's not the case. A lot of people would prefer to serve their country and make their country better in a way that doesn't involve violence, right? Sometimes that's not the experience for everybody. But it's not like people join the military because they just want to kill other people. They're doing it to protect their family, to protect their country, to protect the future of their families, to protect their nation, to serve their nation. And this is a great way to do it. To end crime in Chicago is a great way to serve your nation.
Absolutely, John. And hopefully we'll see that happen. So, all right. Let's keep it on Pritzker for a minute here, because he is a reprehensible human being. There are rumors he's going to try and run for president in 2028. But this is what you're getting.
Gavin Newsom and Pritzker. Can you imagine that debate? Oh, jeez.
It's
just, what a lousy set of options.
This is what you're going to get, though, if you vote for Pritzker, Democrats. You're going to get, and you probably would like this, he launches an LGBTQ plus legal hotline to provide free legal advice. But it's not just for LGBTQ people. It's also for illegal aliens.
I said backstage to somebody, with all the things that are coming at all of us, for us to be able to go on offense and not be on defense is what I love about this state and all of you in this room. And the state of Illinois today, I am announcing, is launching a first of its kind legal hotline for LGBTQ individuals across the state called Illinois. Building upon the state's transgender and gender diverse wellness and equity project that we launched at the beginning of 2024, we will be the only state in the entire United States that provides free legal advice to protect the LGBTQ community. Illinois Pride Connect will provide resources on healthcare and education, on immigration, social services, family protections, and beyond. It will answer frequently asked questions. It'll inform individuals of their rights and provide advocacy tools. Together, we are fighting ignorance with information. We're fighting cruelty with compassion.
Wow.
God, man. He's just so obnoxious. He's so obnoxious. Listen, I mean, can you imagine if you're going to set up a free hotline for legal service, legal advice, that's a tremendous amount of liability that the state is taking on behalf of the citizens of Illinois, okay, to give legal advice. That's pretty big thing, right? Yeah. But only to LGBTQ and illegal aliens? What in the hell are they talking about? Are they crazy? Why not give it to everyone then? Why not just make a legal advice, right? But no, it's only to the LGBTQ so that you can get LGBTQ genital mutilation? I mean, it's just crazy. This guy is crazy. Listen, the nation already voted on this. This issue already came up for the debate, and Illinois lost big in 2024. And if the Democrats continue, it will be one of the very rare exceptions to the outcome in midterms where whoever's in president, the other party wins the midterm. They're going to lose the midterms with stupidity like this. I'm glad that they're doing it. Listen, Pritzker wants all your kids' genitals to be mutilated. That's what Pritzker wants. Great. Let's see how fast that goes towards success in an election cycle. I hope that he does. I hope that he does run for president, and I hope he's the guy that imagine if it's him versus Vance. Imagine the optics of Pritzker versus Vance.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just great. That is great. And there's no way that they fail. I mean, it should be like a three-way debate. Pritzker, Newsom, and Vance. I'd pay money to see that. Yeah. I would pay money to see that. You're going to, I mean, it's just.
It would definitely be interesting, if anything.
I mean, it's just, they're a joke. I mean, I almost feel like I'm being set up. You know, when something happens and it comes to you so easy, you get something that you don't deserve, or it just something falls into your lap. You like a floating ticket falls out of the sky and into your hands, and it's a winning lottery ticket. You know, that's never happened to me, but that's what's happening to the American people with these Democrats who are refusing to put away these crazy ideas that the leftists have adopted and just be a sensible, normal human being for the American people to believe in. That's what's happening. I almost feel like it's a setup. Like if there's like a hidden camera somewhere that is like going to say, just kidding. We're all pretending. Of course we're not for, mutilating the genitals of children. But no, they really are. I mean, it's crazy.
Jim says, traction phrase to move to Illinois, turn gay and move to Illinois. We've got your back.
I mean, great. Except that you also have a 1 in 20 chance of getting murdered in Chicago is the problem.
Yeah, you can wake up every day in Chicago and know someone's going to get.
You can have your testicles removed and you can get shot in one day. You'd have to go to the hospital twice in one day.
Pritzker's partial to the LGBTQ plus community. His brother woke up one day and decided he was a woman living in a man's body. So,
I mean, God only knows. Obviously that's mental illness. And
you can imagine if you can imagine Pritzker with a wig on and makeup, that's what this individual looks like.
Oh God.
Yeah. Scary.
Terrifying.
Scary. All right, John. So Texas, good for Texas. That redistricting legislation is on its way to the desk of Greg Abbott.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Chanley Painter in New York. We're following breaking news out of Texas, where the Republican-led state Senate just passed a new congressional map. The 18-8 vote was finalized after Republicans blocked a filibuster. The bill now heads to Governor Greg Abbott's desk to be signed into law. The new map was drawn to help the GOP win as many as 5 additional U.S. House seats in next year's midterm elections. This marks the final legislative hurdle for the redistricting plan backed by President Trump and Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The Senate's approval follows weeks of uncertainty after House Democrats fled the state for 15 days to block the 2/3 quorum needed to conduct business. Lawyers advised them to return on Monday to build a strong public record ahead of a potential legal battle. All of this has ignited an intensifying nationwide redistricting arms race. California Democrats responded on Thursday by approving their own new congressional map. It would hand.
All right. Well, obviously the sound wasn't synced up with that video properly, but Terran says, John, it's modern day eugenics disguised as love and medical freedom. It's sick.
Absolutely.
He's referring to Pritzker's sister, I guess you would say. No, I don't know. But yeah, so Texas on its way, 5 new seats because of this redistricting. We're going to see the similar thing here in the state of Florida. Thank God. And what are your thoughts, John?
I mean, I can't wait because, California finagled 5 more seats. I don't know. See, California gets 40% Republican vote, and they're only going to have 5 congressional seats. They've already been cheating.
Yes.
Right. The California cheating to California goes hand in hand. So Illinois, it's already gerrymandered like crazy. Those districts looks like a whole bunch of swirls on a, in a bad modern art display. And so they're not gonna be able to pull the same amount of states, the same amount of seats. They stand to lose 20 to 30 seats if this happens. And I think that they should do it. I think that we should do it. I mean, it would allow me to pick a better state to live in if I'm going to move, because right now I can't move to any other state. I'm not going to move to a blue state. That's for sure. So, there's not many states that are better than Florida. So, or if any, You know, I mean, but this makes Texas better. It makes it an option, and you're going to start seeing big things happen in these states that are now completely red, where there's no chance that you can be victimized by leftist policies, right? Because you're going to be able to go from one, you're going to be able to carry your weapon, you're going to be able to protect your family, you're going to be able to live with low taxes, you know, so it creates a whole new commercial environment and travel environment. So it's good. Nobody's going to go to California, right? Nobody wants to go to California anymore. So you create this situation where you're going to have like the whole South be like the European Union, you know, and where there's cooperating on a whole different level, and not in a bad way. I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's terrible." No, I mean in a good way, where in that you're enjoying a reciprocal environment of constitutionalism. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. So I think that they should go ahead and do the redistricting arms race. I think it's absolutely positive. It lets Americans feel at peace. It provides stability, you know, with nothing's going to change. California's not going to change. We all know California's not going to change. Florida's not going to change. Texas is not going to change. Now, if you go to Kentucky, hopefully it will bring some stability to those states along that Mason-Dixon, you know, and so on. I'm okay with it. Go ahead. Go to battle.
Absolutely. Jim says he doesn't know if there's enough time to do anything here in Florida for 2026. And he's probably right, John. There probably isn't enough time to do anything for 2026. Maybe we'll see this for 2028. I'm hearing that if this redistricting happens, we might actually see another seat pop up here in our area.
I doubt it. I don't think if first of all, session begins in January, right? Yeah. I mean, they could feasibly, they could. It would just have to be like immediate. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they would have the time, but it's possible. It's not like the timeline says that it would be impossible. Right. It's just that the actual legislature would want to do it. They'd have to want to get it accomplished. And our legislature is hot garbage.
Yes, they're not hot to get anything accomplished.
They don't want it to happen. They don't want it to happen. They absolutely do not want that to happen. They like their supermajority that they have now. They're in no rush. They have control. They like Democrats. So, you know, I mean, they don't want that. They don't want the change. And they also don't want it to happen under DeSantis because, you know, they still hate DeSantis, right? They're still battling. So, it's a tricky place. But we'll see. I mean, it would look dumb for Texas to be able to do it and then for Florida to fail to do it. Yeah. Just like Florida has failed to do the property tax reform, failed to deal with HOAs, failed to deal with insurance, failed to deal anything with to improve the constitution of the state, to improve our environment of the state of Florida. So,
absolutely. All right, John. So, Cracker Barrel. Ugh. Cracker Barrel. I love Cracker Barrel. You know, I once worked for Cracker Barrel.
Did you? I can't stand absolutely. That place, to be honest with you.
Yes, I worked for Cracker Barrel for a short time, but I would not be working for them now. And their new CEO.
Did you find Christ in a Cracker Barrel parking lot?
No, I did
like
not.
Byron
I did not. I did not.
Byron Donald was saying that's where he came to Christ, was in a Cracker Barrel parking lot.
I heard that. I found another job, but no. Their stock dropped 14% after unveiling this new rebranding and this new logo. And where do I have a picture of the logo? Let me see. I think I do. Let me see. Is this it? Yep, there it is. So that is the CEO, Julie Fless. I can't remember her last name, but that is the old logo with Uncle Herschel sitting next to the Cracker Barrel in the rocking chair, and the new logo, which they got rid of Uncle Herschel, and it's just bland, plain as can be. There was a lot of pushback against this, John. A lot of pushback, and but the CEO. She didn't see it.
The feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. Actually,
we lost $200 million in 15 minutes.
Bring them together every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was How can I get a remodel? When can I get
money?
a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
This is such a joke.
Well, you know, Crazy has a look, John. You notice those glasses she's
Yeah,
wearing?
Crazy has a look. Yeah, absolutely.
And I've seen those glasses on many a crazy person. But anyway, yes. So they did this. They put this out there. She went on Good Morning America and said what she said. And this is what happened, John. This is the reality. The stock dropped 14% after the unveiling of this rebranding. But truth be told, since she took over as CEO of Cracker Barrel has lost money and has been on a downward decline. I mean, you can see it right there.
They're slowly but surely going down, 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 down.
Yeah. So they faced this immense backlash, and just today, John, they released this. They put it out on multiple social media platforms. Here it is, Cracker Barrel. We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At
What a
Barrel,
victory.
it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to our table soon. So, yes, this is a huge victory. They did listen, and hopefully they'll fire that CEO because obviously Cracker Barrel, if you look at the history, or I should say shareholders, you look at the history, she's been losing you money for a long time, ever since she was installed. So,
yeah, this is a giant. Listen, I don't know that this was a big woke rebrand, right? As much as it was an unnecessary risk, right? She took a risk. They tried to remove the cracker out of the barrel, and it was a big mistake. At least to her credit, she took it back. That takes a lot of courage, right? To go back. You saw Bud Light. They were taking a beating for a year before they would even acknowledge that they had a guy pretending to be a woman on their cans, right? So, I mean, it's like, I don't think that they deserve the Bud Light, but I love it when the CEOs listen. Fortunately for her, she's realized that could actually save her skin because she should be listening all along. Improve the food. Let me give you the secret. I've never owned a restaurant, right? I don't know anything about the food business, but let me give you some advice that I think would be correct. Make good food, have good service, keep your restaurant clean. There's the magic formula. There's the secret sauce to a business in food.
It's funny, though, John, that Cracker Barrel has good food. They do. They really do. I think so. I've never thought that they've had bad food, including lunch and dinner, but they fall into the same trap that IHOP falls into, that Denny's falls into, that Village Inn falls into. They are thought of as a breakfast place. So you'll see them super busy at breakfast, maybe a little bit busy at lunch, especially for those people who will eat breakfast for lunch or a late breakfast. But dinner time, not so much. Yeah. So they've never had a problem with the food, but I can guarantee, I can assure you that this woman is woke. She has been pushing DEI initiatives.
They've known. Yes, absolutely.
She's been pushing DEI initiatives across Cracker Barrel since she's been the CEO. So she has to go.
I mean, come on. You don't wear those glasses and not be woke. All right. Yeah, the glasses tell you everything that you need to know about her being woke. But what I mean is that it's not like they were like hanging gay pride flags from the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't. She didn't go like full woke.
Full
right?
retard. Yes. Full retard. That's
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Hate mail to Tom, not to me. So yeah, they exactly. So she, it was just like one of these things where she left room. She left room for somebody to be like, who cares, right? And nobody would care. Normally, I don't think that anybody would care. People rebrand, right? People rebrand. It's not like everybody cares. It's the fact that you made it woke. The idea, and like I said, it's not like it had a rainbow color in there or anything. It's just the idea that it could potentially be a woke rebrand that killed that business.
Yep.
And so let me ask you something. Going back to our Illinois story, right? What makes Pritzker think that he would survive a national election when that same exact, a less offensive move just that gave people the idea that it might be woke absolutely destroyed that company stock, right? That you think that you're going to win a national election with full woke up front? I forget it. It's just not going to happen.
This shows you how out of touch the leading Democrat candidates are. And I'm not saying that I am saying they're the leading Democrat candidates because these are the people that
they are. Who else are there?
Front. They're out front. So it's
Newsom, I mean, I'm sure Maxwell Frost thinks that he can rap into the White House.
They're
no, that's
so
not gonna
out
happen.
of touch with what's happening in America right now that, he's pushing this LGBTQ hotline, and, Newsom thinks that he's some type of leader when he never has, and California is at the worst point it's ever been. Unbelievable, John. Unbelievable. So I'm glad Cracker Barrel learned their lesson. Learn another lesson.
Me too.
Get rid of the CEO. She's bad news. Obviously, she hasn't made you any money. She's bringing the company down. Get rid of her.
Yeah. And listen, more importantly, let me speak to the people who are watching, and we have a lot of people watching. So you did this. You did it, right? Your voice on X, your voice on Facebook, your refusal. You're like, I'm not going there. You guys all crapped on Cracker Barrel, and you made the change. And that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do to your politicians. That's what you need to do to your local elected leaders. That's what you need to do to your state reps. That's what you need to do to every time somebody comes with this BS. You need to feather and you need to tar and feather that person and throw them back out into the street where they came from.
Absolutely.
That's what you need to do. So you guys did this. This is your victory. Make it happen. You know that it works. So do it. Now do it for everything. Do it for everything.
Absolutely. This next story, John, is a bit disturbing.
Yeah.
Let me give you the setup. So it says, here that it's a UFC legend's son nearly kills a professional wrestler. This is true. This is the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson. His name is Raja. He got involved somehow with some pro wrestling organization. They brought him in. The wrestler that got severely injured thought there was some kind of angle going on, and it was a work. So he was trying to teach Raja before this incident occurred, how they do things, and like did a fake hit to the head where he's hitting his hand. We don't have that video, but it's out there. You can find it on X, trying to show him something, and the promoter told Raja, you'll get your payback in the ring. In other words, like you'll be able to look good in front of the crowd in the ring. But what happened next was he definitely got his payback.
You!
Hey, you gotta stop this shit, man. Oh. Stop this shit, man.
It took 4 to 5 guys to hold Raja Jackson back. He slammed the wrestler, his name was Psycho Stu, down to the mat, mounted him, began punching him in the face. They're saying that Psycho Stu was knocked out on the second hit. and then proceeded to hit him 22 more times in the face. Psycho Stu had multiple facial bones broken, multiple teeth knocked out, almost killed him. And Raja Jackson's friend was streaming this. That's where a lot of this video come from. And even streamed it afterward, where Raja Jackson was walking down the road, still heated up from this, saying that he always wanted to F up a wrestler and no one's going to F with him, that he showed him and all this. It's just really disturbing. But the most disturbing aspect of this story is that Raja Jackson has not been arrested yet.
I mean, I'm sure that he will be. He will be arrested. Yeah, he will be arrested. That's a lot of evidence right there. Nobody expected that to happen. If you're in a football game or a baseball game or any professional sport and you get into a fist fight and you injure somebody because of a fist fight that takes place during a game, you can be arrested for battery or assault or whatever the state law is in that state. So this absolutely positively looked like a crime to me. I'm no lawyer, but that looked like a crime to me. And I would expect that he will be arrested. And I hope that he goes to jail for a long time. I mean, if he spent 5 years in prison, I would absolutely not blink an eye. This guy ruined somebody's face for life. So if he went to prison for 10 years or 15 or 20 years, you know what? I mean, that animal should not be on the street. And that's exactly what that guy is.
I mean, he literally pounded a defenseless man 22 times in the face, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, and he's a professional fighter.
Yeah, he is.
So it's not like he's some random guy on the street. He's a trained
MMA fighter, and his father is a UFC legend.
Yeah,
former UFC heavyweight champion. This guy knows what he's doing. His son knows what he's doing. And, Quentin Rampage Jackson did release a statement on social media. This one was on X, and he said he wanted to clear up the misinformation about my son, Raja. I've been confirmed that the wrestler Stuart Smith, a.k.a. Psycho Stu, is awake and stable. Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match. Raja was told that he could get his payback in the ring. This was supposed to be a work. All right. This was supposed to be.
What does that mean exactly?
A work means that it's not real. It's like
right.
It's like acting.
It's rehearsed.
Yes.
It's part of the show.
Yeah. So Rampage says, I thought it was a part of the show. It was bad judgment and a work that went wrong. Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. As a father, I'm deeply concerned with his health and the well-being of Mr. Smith. That being said, I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern now is that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery. I apologize on his behalf and to kick for the situation. And I don't know if that's truly a sound apology. Sounds like he's making an excuse for his son. And
I think it is. I think that's a fair apology. He's smart. He's savvy enough to know that he should not say anything, right? And at the same time, he does say something. And you could tell that he wrote that himself. That was not a professional PR firm or his attorney that wrote that, because you can tell because of the style of writing, right? You have like typos and grammatical issues and stuff like that. You know that was him, unless he's got a really bad PR guy. So, I think that it's fair for him to say that. And he said his number one priority is to ensure that there's a speedy recovery. I mean, I don't know how old that kid is. How old is that kid? Is he a kid, like we're saying, or is he a man?
He's in his like mid-20s.
Yeah, so he's a man. That guy should, I hope that he. Well, you hate to see a young man in his prime throw his life away because something so stupid like this. But that's exactly what should happen, because that guy's going to have a broken face the rest of his life.
he's got to learn a lesson. And I saw a picture of Rajah Jackson's home, John. His home is a literal mansion with a pool and like a beautiful home. He does not live with Quentin Jackson.
He does not?
No, he does not. He lives in his own mansion, Rajah. So he needs to learn a lesson.
Well,
and that lesson is
a
some
small
time.
jail cell
Yeah.
is certainly not a mansion, and that's where he's going to be residing for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure.
All right, so let's take it home with this story, John. This California husband blamed his wife's disappearance on ICE. But wouldn't you know, it wasn't ICE.
We've got some new developments in a disturbing case out of Los Angeles today, where the body of a 33-year-old mother of 3 was found dead in the Angeles National Forest last week. But the story does not end there. Our crime correspondent Jason Matera has the latest on this very shocking story, to put it mildly. Jason, tell us about it.
Hey, Bob, so a wife goes missing. The family starts pressing the husband for answers, and he blames federal immigration officials for her disappearance, but the evidence just pointed straight back at him. A chilling scene out of Lancaster, California. Security cameras roll as 33-year-old Shayla Cabrera's husband drags what looks like a human-sized bundle across an apartment complex. Days later, investigators say her body turned up in the Angeles National Forest, wrapped in the exact same material. Shayla was reported missing on August 12th. The very next day, investigators uncovered that disturbing surveillance video. And by August 16th, they had pieced together her husband's previous movements. That's when they discovered Shayla's body. The medical examiner is still working to determine the exact cause of death. Her husband, 36-year-old Josimar Cabrera, reportedly gave relatives shifting stories when his wife went missing, including the whopper that ICE had taken her. The LA Sheriff's Department tells Newsmax that both Shayla and Josimar were Peruvian nationals who crossed illegally into the U.S. in 2022 and quickly filed asylum claims. After Shayla's death, Josimar bolted back to Peru with the couple's 3 kids. Authorities say that those children are now in protective custody, while the walls are closing in around the accused killer husband. The LA District Attorney has slapped him with murder charges and is pushing to haul him back to the U.S. Josimar Cabrera may have gamed the asylum system to sneak in, but it doesn't look like he'll game the justice system to stay out. Bob, the Sheriff's Department told us that extradition could take time. Arraignment in the U.S. may not happen right away. But beyond that, this case shows just how absurd the Biden asylum policy really was. Cabrera claimed that he feared for his life in Peru. Then after he allegedly murders his wife, where does he run? Right back to the country he supposedly fled from.
Wow.
Yeah.
It does illustrate how ridiculous it is, John. I mean,
it really does. It would be great if they would put him in a Peruvian prison versus an American prison.
Yeah.
They were both illegal aliens. They were both Peruvian nationals. Why wouldn't Peru charge them? You would think that they could transfer those charges to Peru and let them deal with it.
Yeah.
But you can see
I'd rather see him in the Peruvian prison than in American prison.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. I'd rather see him in a Peruvian prison. That would be far worse than a prison here. I feel for the kids, the 3 kids. It's just, that's heartbreaking, terrible story. Of course, that doesn't have anything to do with his nationality, but it just goes to show that, they're not vetting. They're not vetting people.
No, they're not.
So they were just letting anybody in. They just wanted the census impact. They wanted those house seats, and now they're losing all of the above. So.
All right, John.
All right. Well, we've reached the end of another episode of Unsanctioned America. Thank you for watching. I guess nothing really came back, but looking at all the different places, a lot of people were watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for watching. Please like and share the show. I'm former school board member John Arguello. This is my great friend, citizen Tom Lord. And on both of our behalfs, God bless you. We'll see you in a few days or next week for Unsanctioned Florida. That will be a good one.
Absolutely.
Well, I was entertained, to be honest.
I
think it is rich beyond measure. The fact that a school board member that has tens of millions of dollars of conflict of interest before this board has the courage to come up here and talk about anyone's behavior. If anyone should be ashamed of themselves, sir, it should be you.
And I'm in favor of you being able to speak your mind no matter what. That's how we get, remember when we were kids, right? And you had a problem with somebody and then your dad would kick you out to go fight with that kid and then you shake hands, then you go home and then you become friends. Disgust when they're trying to, take this word and give it meaning that it doesn't have. Like our entire country needs to go through a fasting. You see all of these new age hippies, right? They're constantly fasting. They're doing starvation diets, or they won't eat for this. What is it called? Like some kind of intermittent